how's it going? My name's Taylor, and I'm excited I get to share with you a little bit about how to lead an InterVarsity style Bible study.
So our passage today that we're doing, like I said earlier, we're actually doing a lot of text.
When I was in college, it was my first time really going through a Bible study in this way, where we observe the text, interpret it, and then see how to apply it to our lives. And I found out that there was so much more to Scripture than I'd ever known, even though I grew up reading it. The first step that you do in this type of Bible study is leading your group through a time of observation. Observation is like when a detective is gathering clues. It's when we look closely at the passage together to notice as many details as we can about what the passage really has to say. Now, when my group was new to this style of Bible study, we often wanted to jump ahead to interpretation. After all, we like talking about what the passage means. But when we did that, it didn't always turn out so well. I think this is because great observation builds our curiosity, and we get the opportunity to feel like we're in the text. So we can notice the people, see what they're seeing, and feel some of the natural tension of it. The way I like to launch into observation time with some momentum is to set the scene. I'll give some historical context and background of the passage that we're reading. And so I'll usually include things like the historical timeline, cultural traditions, the author, and the audience. These things are really helpful in us understanding more about where this story fits into the larger narrative of Scripture that's unfolding around it. This story comes right after he sends out the disciples, right, to go to the different towns to preach. And Jesus' name has been made known, and then King Herod hears of Jesus, and it brings him back to this memory of this banquet. The next thing I like to do is to have my group read the passage out loud together, whether I read it or I ask someone in my group to do it for me.
Whatever you ask of me, I will give you, up to half of my kingdom. And she went out and said to her mother, "For what should I ask?"
Divided the 2 fish among them. They all ate and were satisfied.
Once we do that, I give people time to read the passage on their own and to really mark it up. So I encourage people to actually use a pencil and to circle words that they notice are repeating throughout the passage, or to write down the themes that they see or the actions that are happening in the passage. And I also encourage people to write their questions on the margin so that we can get to them later as we go back to interpret it. After my group has had time to read the passage on their own, it's time for us to share together what we've been noticing. As the leader, I try to lead with a lot of enthusiasm as we're going through our observation time, while also gently holding us back from rushing into interpretation, which can be pretty tricky. So there's kind of 3 paragraphs on the paper, so what were some things that stood out to you in that first section?
A lot of negative terms, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially like Herodias having a grudge against him, wanting to put him to death. Herod fearing John.
And Jesus saw the great crowd and had compassion for them. So it wasn't just like, oh, they're there, let's go away.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've never thought about that comparison before. That's really interesting.
I want their curiosity to build so that they see a full or more complete picture of what's happening in the passage. And once we've done that, we have all the clues we need to start moving on into our time of interpretation.